So anyways, what I'm trying to do is put overdrive in my axial SCX-10 III, and I really like this truck, but as a class 3 rig where I'm able to use the dig, it's fantastic. But as a class 2 rig where I can't use the dig, I feel like it needs overdrive. And you know, mini truggy, there is no motor limit for mini truggy. It's open mod. You can do whatever you want. Most guys are running 5.5s or 6.5s. There's a few guys that are, well, one guy, Dane Gangler, runs a 5.5, which is, or I mean a 4.5, which is crazy, but he's doing it. So I don't know. I might delete this when this is over, just because the way that I started. I just responded back to him. I normally don't respond to stuff that I see online, whether it's reviews or even bitch fest on 402. I really don't. But this one just got me all boggled. I don't get it. I don't understand what I did to this guy. And look, here's the thing. I know I have a resting douche face. Like, I get it. I know I do. Sometimes when I'm at the store, this is how I look. And I'm supposed to fake it. I'm supposed to be fake, moving my smile or whatever, but it's not really who I've ever been, So in the past, I'm sure I've had people like think that I'm, unreachable or whatever, but it's like most people find out if they talk to me, that's definitely not the case. I'm sure I said thank you. That's what I'm positive I said thank you. I always say thank you when I'm ringing people up. Or I'll be like, no problem or that, but I always say thank you to people. Maybe I didn't. Maybe that's all it is. I don't know. Okay, so there's the ring gear. And here's our pinion gear. And I will say that when I put in this gear on my SCX-10 II, well, on the store's SCX-10 II, it was a little crunchy. Yeah, I don't know. This guy said he got treated so bad, just left with my screws only. We'll shop somewhere else. I mean, this guy came in. He had one of the crawler guys help him find screws for his wheels that didn't fit. So he brought him back, and Kip was going to help him, and I'm like, well, here, I'll help him. And I said, I'm pretty sure I know what these are. So we went and checked one bag. I opened them up and threaded them in there. They didn't work. And I'm like, oh, they're these over here. So I went over here and I opened up another bag. And I said, these will work, won't they? And he said, yeah. And I'm like, cool. So we threaded it in there. And then I'm like, all right, is that it for you? And I'm sure he said, yeah, that's it. And then I rang him up, and that was that. And now there's this. And I'm just flabbergasted. I just don't I don't get it. You guys have any overdrive gears for the AR-44 on the SCX-10 II? That's what I'm doing right now. These are, if you guys can see that, SSD. This is what I've used in both the SCX-10 II, and then I'm putting them in the SCX-10 III to overdrive this truck. So we've got a whole bunch of these still in stock. The axial ones, I believe we have one pair, but they're like $10 more. So that's what it is. Yeah, they do. Well, apparently they do. We're going to find out here in about 10 minutes. But I made sure I checked with Axial, and the part number they gave me was the overdrive that they make for the SCX-10 II. So it should. If it doesn't, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go online, and I'm going to complain about the Hobbytown guy that sold him, which is me. So I'm going to complain about myself selling the wrong parts to myself. I figure I'll just I'll join the club. Anyways, yeah, they look like they will. I hate opening these up like this. Yeah, so I ran this truck as a class 2 on our Tuesday night crawler night, and not to sway you, I probably should be swayed, honestly, before I say something really dumb and get myself in trouble. Like, I shouldn't have said douche canoe earlier. There are, but there's none that come in the store. I get it. It is what it is. What are you currently have done to your Element Enduro performance-wise? Is there anything you don't like about it? So honestly, there's nothing I don't like about my Enduro. I have really enjoyed my truck. I have done quite a bit to it, though. We can go over that. That's a good question. Douche dinghy. That's a good one. So what was one of the first things? So like one of the first big things that I thought needed to be changed on it was the panhard mount. The stock one's a little flimsy. And so at first I put the hard plastic on there, and it worked for a little while. And then when it broke again, I just said the heck with it. So what I did was I went with these cool Samex metal shock towers, and the front, they give you that metal panhard mount. Thought that was pretty awesome. The putting a servo winch in is pretty rad. Being able to actually mechanically use the servo that way is pretty awesome, because like if you're in a comp and you got to use the hand winch, it's 5 points, where this one's only 3. Plus, this one's really neat because you can turn it on and then you can still kind of drive a little bit. Putting weight on the front of the Enduro, I think, actually on any crawler, I think having most of your weight up front is something that I like to do. So you guys can see that. I got those SSD brass knuckles. I did go with aluminum C-hubs and not brass. I felt like I already had enough weight up front already. And then I have these cool SSD. They're not on this one. Where are they at? Right here. So they got the disc brake looking wheel weights that use the hub inside of there, and this combined with the brass knuckles seems like it gives me just the right amount of weight. So another thing I did is, obviously, if you get the RTR, you want to get rid of the bumpers right away because they're way too big. So this bumper here was a Wordy made, and I actually ground away some of the chassis up front and moved that. I moved that in this way just a little bit because the metric body that I knew that I wanted to use, I wanted it to be right up on the front like this with no gap, and I wanted the approach angle to be like really, really short. So I just didn't want to get hung up on stuff. So doing those things were probably the real major ones. These Reefs RC sliders are pretty rad because they're heavy, and they put the weight nice and low. And this is probably about as far back as I would think that you want the weight to be. And I didn't have to get the cool Kashima shocks, but I got them anyways because I thought it'd be cool. So the regular shocks are fine, but the factory team shocks, they're pretty rad. Believe it or not, I'm not running. The one thing I haven't changed is the drive shafts. I'm still running the stock plastic and metal center drive shafts. So I have yet to have a problem with them. If I do ever break one, I'll probably try to find some metal option out there, but no, I haven't had any issues with them, so I've left it alone. And then, of course, you put in the 11% overdrive right away. I don't think there's any reason to not have the overdrive in there. I got the metal shock towers in the back as well. One of the reasons why the aftermarket shock towers are nice is because of all the different shock mounting positions. So like in the back, you can lean the shocks forward, and in the front, you can lean the shocks back. It just helps it kind of stay a little bit lower. That's about it. Everything else is kind of cosmetic. So, but I love this truck. For a Comp 2 truck, a Class 2, I'm very comfortable driving this thing, and it usually does really well, unless the driver's stupid. So this will be definitely my Comp 2 rig for any sort of events that we have or anything like that for the foreseeable future. I'm going to turn my SCX 10.3 into more of a traditional Comp 3 style rig so that I can use the dig. I used on our Tuesday night running, we had it's basically Class 2, and I used my SCX 10.3, and without being able to use the dig, wasn't quite there. It didn't drive like this at all. So that's kind of why I'm going to start with the overdrive and then go from there. I already put those SSD brass covers on there, those portal covers. I already put those on there. So I got some weight on the front of that thing. So I hear you get true throw with the SSD knuckles paired with the SSD axle shaft, so you're running the extra overdrive. I'm not. So Hot Racing has that that metal gear set that gives you a lot more overdrive. I can't remember the exact percentages, but I know it's a lot. And I've wanted to get that set. I've tried to order through the store, but the store can't get them yet. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. So I might just straight up order them from Maine if we ended up not being able to get them. So So I'm not. I'm just running the stock overdrive in that. And it seems to be fine. But I have been tempted to get that hot racing set and try that. The CR12 F-150, I don't know, dude, because it's 12 scale. I'm not sure if maybe, because there's got to be, they actually have wheelbase rules, and I'm not sure if the 12 scale trucks fit into any of those. I'm really not sure. I don't know. Want to get rid of the stock shocks? Nope, because they're on my son's SCX-10 the stock plastic axial shocks are no bueno. So that was one reason why I got the Kashima shocks for my truck, because I was going to put my shocks on his truck. So sorry. Nope. No problem. Jfin. Believe it or not, I'm here to please, even if apparently I don't end the conversation well or something. I don't know. I'm so confused right now. And look, there are times that I know I can get at the store somewhat irritated. One of the things is if somebody doesn't pay for practice, that gets kind of irritating. So I try to be nice about it. But if I'm like, you know, hey, have you paid for practice yet? And you haven't, and you've been there for a little while, yeah, you might get, well, you need to get up there and get that done. So motor spray. Where did my son put my motor spray? That is the question at hand right now. Yeah. You know what, though? The Enduro shocks, even the stock ones, the silver ones, it's a pretty good buy. These guys are asking like 50 and 60 bucks for a pair of shocks. You can get all four, I think, at the shop for like $59.99 from Associated. So it's a pretty good buy to get those. I hide my motor spray from my son. I had it behind the stormtrooper. So what I'm doing is just getting rid of the oils that they put on these things during packaging, so that the thread lock will stay put. Hopefully stays put. And speaking of thread lock, there it is. Yeah, I think the Associated Factory Team shocks are a pretty good option if you don't want to spend a lot of money. Traxxas shocks are really, really good too, but they're in the pricey range again. So, you know, it's one of those deals. And then the other thing too is thread lock is if once you clean this off, you really don't want to touch the screws either, because the oils from your skin can actually interrupt it from working too. And then what I like to do, and I've shown this on here before, is take the thread lock and I just spooge a little bit onto the table. Spooge is one of my favorite words. And hang on a second. Hey, I'm doing my live stream. What's up? Yeah, my live stream's going on right now. Yeah. Oh, nobody's giving me a hard time about a diffuser. I just couldn't remember what it was called. Okay. I'm entertaining right now 15 people, and I'm building a overdrive for my axial crawler. Yeah. Yeah. No, you're not on speaker. Okay. Okay. All right. Yep. Yep. Bye. Okay. So what I like to do is just dab a little onto the threads, and then that goes in there, and then this goes here. And I'm not going to do it all the way. I'm just going to start it so I can get them lined up. And for the electric RC cars, can you take shocks apart? Yes, totally. In fact, you probably should take your shocks apart probably every month or so, and just make sure that the O-rings can seal up correctly, and oil doesn't leak out. That's one of the probably common more maintenance things that we do. I probably don't replace my O-rings near as much as I should, but it is something that you should probably do pretty often. If you take a car and you can, if you take a car and you hold it up and you set it down and you watch the rear end, if the rear end doesn't come back up, if it just goes, then it probably needs new O-rings. What are you doing?
Oh, never mind.
So yeah, my buddy Will called because I called him up and asked him. Well, I texted him and wanted to know. I couldn't remember what the fin on the back of a car is called. That's underneath the fuselage or the chassis. Fuselage, not an airplane. Good Lord. So because today during my ARMA unboxing, I couldn't remember what that damn thing was called, and I'm like, I'm in the middle of the video and I don't want to start over again because I've already gotten through it. So I just kind of ignored it. But it's a diffuser. The car, the cool car, the Felony has got a diffuser in the back. Sometimes when I'm doing these videos, it's just like my mind goes blank, and I'm not quite sure. You know, I forget what something is called, and then I don't want to like sound dumb, so I kind of just either make something up or move on. You know. And some guy on YouTube was like, "This guy doesn't know what he's talking about." Blah 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 blah. And I know that you should never look at the comments. And I think that if I'm going to put myself out on YouTube, probably best that I don't look at the comments. But that one, I'm like, yeah, you know, I should have remembered that one. So I had to like get my mind refreshed as to what that was called. So. Anywho, where'd my axle go? That's it. Okay. All right. So, we got Mr. Overdrive here. Now we're going to take this and this. Got scared for a second because this didn't quite go on there, but that's not it. Now I can't remember which one of these I actually used. I'm kind of dumb that way. Did I just screw that up? I think it's this one. Is it? I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. Again, as you guys watch me fumble around here. I suppose I could always just count the teeth. Should probably do that. No, they're the same, so it doesn't really matter. I think this one's the right one, though. The right cut. So, sorry to bore you guys. Hey, we're up to 18 people. That's pretty awesome. So there is another event that's going to be a crawling event that's going to be at the HobbyPlex. The Carter Lake Crawlers are going to be doing that one, and it's the same weekend as the King of Missouri. So there'll probably be some heavy hitters missing. But for those of you guys that aren't going to that, like me, because I scheduled a summer series race on the same weekend, that should be a fun event that we can all participate in. So how did the jumping over car over house go? We were going to do the Granite 3S this time, and Emerson broke the chassis on it on Sunday, not jumping over the house. He did it. He broke the chassis doing something else. So that means that I'm going to have to make him learn how to repair a chassis on a Granite, which might take a while, because he probably won't want to do it. So it's going to have to wait. We were going to do it the Granite 3S, and now I think we're going to have to wait. So by the way, I appreciate you guys trying to like butter me up after this. It's so frustrating when you think that you've done all you can for somebody, and honestly, it's an RC car hobby store. It's not like we're curing cancer or anything like that, but I do try to like make sure everybody's getting their stuff. It just boggles my mind sometimes. The other crawl, so it's going to be, I didn't say the date, did I? It's August 30th, Sunday, August 30th, out on our rocks. I've got a couple more things that I'm going to add to the crawling course before then. So hopefully by next week, I'll have this really cool new section up that's going to replace the old kind of corner where the building meets the sidewalk. I've always wanted to use that triangle to make like a loop with a bridge underneath of it. And I'm going to be doing that with a lot of wood. We got a lot of wood because of that big storm that came through the Midwest. So we're going to try to, I'm going to use some of that wood to make a cool new area. So, well, thanks. I think I've said this before, but I think most people have positive experiences at our store. It's the ones that don't, sometimes I can get it if they've had something go terribly wrong with their stuff and it's like, say Castle Creations where we can't return it at our store. You have to go through them. A lot of times I can see somebody being upset at us. We get it. There's still nothing we can do about it, but, I can kind of understand that. But sometimes I'm just like, what? I think it's that way for every hobby store, though. I think every hobby store, because of the nature of what we have, you know, dude, I'm terrible at names. That's my greatest downfall is names. The only time that really, I won't say the only time, but a lot of times, if I enter you in the computer every week for racing, I'll remember your name eventually, unless you're the Noonans, and then I will totally keep forgetting your last name for some reason. I don't know why. I can never remember the Noonans or the Noonans kid. So, you know, actually, so this gear, this overdrive gear in here, actually feels better in this housing than it did in the SCX2 housing. So, well, Cole, I remember Cole's name because Cole's always logging into the shows. So if you do that, I'll remember your name. Hey, Tony Walters is on here. Yay. There's I think it's Tom Segura who has a bit in his comedy. One of his comedy acts where, like, if he's having a good day, for some reason he just logs into Facebook and then finds something to get upset about for the rest of the day. I think that's what happens a lot to me, is like that. Like, like usually it's political. Usually something so dumb, political wise, that I'm just like, how can this person exist? And then I get all ramped up for the day. So I hope this works. I think it does. It feels like it does. Maybe. Yeah. Need a bearing. And then this goes like so. Hey, look at that. Woo! I was worried there for a second because if it didn't fit into there, I was going to be in trouble because I sold somebody today the same overdrive set saying that it would work. So can't go proving people wrong or correct, I guess. So anywho, I made sure to save a kickstart today. So the overdrive for the 10.2 AR44 fit, I'm guessing. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. There we go. Look at that. Okay. And now we just need to get this right. How do you take the shocks off an electric / two-wheel drive truck? Well, I think I have something here, but pretty much the same way. So like on this car, I mean, you've got your top screw, bottom screw. Depending on which slash you have, you're either going to have a shoulder screw at the top, okay, or you're just going to have a straight screw holding it in with going into that plastic shock tower. And on the bottom, you'll just have a regular screw. Take that off. And then most shocks will have, like Traxxas shocks, have these shock cups on the bottom here. So once you get it apart, you can take that shock cup off, pull it apart. There actually is a how-to video through the HobbyPlex show on how to rebuild Traxxas shocks. That's one of my more popular videos. So I would suggest checking that out. I get a lot of kudos for that one, so I must have done something right for once. What am I doing? Yeah, pre-runners are pretty cool. I had to choose between a pre-runner and this axial truck, and I couldn't pass up the price I got on the axial truck, because Horizon Hobby does these employee purchase things, and it works out really well for us. So overdrive, basically, it does two things, right? So when you're crawling up something, right? If your front tires are spinning faster than your rear tires, the idea is, if you have traction, is that they'll kind of grab something and to be able to pull your rear end up while your rear end up is still giving it momentum, so that you can crawl up stuff better. Where if you don't have overdrive, then both wheels are going at the same time. A lot of times what will happen is you get to a point and your bottom end will have more traction than your top end, and you just go like, you fall back, right? Well, overdrive gives you that extra spin at the top, so you have a better possibility of grabbing more traction than the bottom, so that you can pull yourself up. It also helps create basically a pivot point in the back. So with most crawlers, if you want to make a tight turn, you got to kind of rub yourself up against something and turn, so that your rear end gets hung up while your front end pulls you around. And having the overdrive almost naturally allows that to happen. So your rear end's not going as fast, and so it kind of almost like a dig. It's like a dig, like on this truck, when the rear wheels are locked, the front end's just yanking it all the way around, super tight turns. The overdrive just simulates that, but not without stopping the rear end of the car. So there's two major benefits to that. So exactly. So Tony said it helps tighter turns. So that's what that's doing, is it's your front end can turn faster, so your rear end's not turning as much, and so it kind of, the whole truck's making a turn, right? Instead of having both the same. So when you're turning, your rear end's going the same speed, so you're pushed as well as pulled. Whereas this, you're pulling instead of pushing as much, and you get that tighter turn radius. I hope that explains that. So one thing we're looking at doing, Will and I, through our podcast, is making a shirt that says "Clearly Not an Engineer," and then having my fro outline on it, the HobbyPlex show. Because, I do my best, but I don't know a lot of terminology. That's part of it. That's part of why I got that crap on YouTube on one of the comments today, because I didn't know the terminology for a diffuser. And probably more than that too. I don't know what the front of cars have for headers and intakes and all that stuff. I don't know. I'm not a car person, a real car person. I'm an RC car person. That's what I do. I build tracks, I drink Kickstart, and I drive RC cars. That's what I do. So I'm putting my axles back on. Carefully. I really would like some aluminum spindles for this truck. Keeping my eye out for if anybody makes a this piece right here. I could imagine that being a lot of machining though, so maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, so we're thinking about doing a Patreon page, and I'm not going to be. The thing is, though, is like I'm trying to think of stuff that's actually worth having a Patreon page for, and I'm not kidding myself. I mean, I think our podcast probably gets like a couple hundred listens in a month or so each episode. So, you know, it's not like we're conquering the world or anything like that, but it would be kind of funny to see people walk around with that shirt. Especially at like other hobby shops. There we go. Okay. Let's see. Does the SX73 come with portals and a dig unit? Nope. Portals and dig. It's all stock, dude. That's what's really cool about this truck. If you haven't seen it yet, I would suggest if you're interested in the SX103, check out the build video I did last week. It's about 23 minutes long. I point out some discrepancies in the instruction manual, some stuff I was starting to get kind of frustrated with, but also just what the truck kind of comes with. I decided to definitely use the dig because I kind of had the intention of this being like just a trail truck or a class 3 competition truck where you can use a dig. And then no 2-speed though. You can also have an optional 2-speed. I have no interest in going faster, so I didn't put that in. And the AR45 axles are portal axles from Axial. They share the same spindle and portal cover here as a Capra, but this axle itself, of course, is a more of a 1.9 axle and not a big fat axle like the Capras. So, but you can see that. See if I get a good shot. So that's your dig right here, and transmission, transfer case. I think all that's really neat, and I was impressed with it first time out. I was pretty happy with it, and it's back together, so that's good. That's really good. That went together way smoother. So when I put these same SSD overdrives into my STX102, you know, they were a little crunchy, and I couldn't close the diff case down all the way because it would basically almost lock it up. So I had to kind of like not tighten it all the way, kind of find the sweet spot where it was tight but not too tight. This just went right in. So I like that a lot. I think I'll go try it tomorrow on our course setup and see how she does. See if it turns a little bit better, climbs a little bit better. That's what I'm hoping for. Because you can't always use the dig. If I'm participating in class 2 with this, you know, you can't use it. I'm starting to think about what I want to do for a different body, because I don't think I'm always going to get super lucky in class 3 like I did Sunday. I think I could use some bigger tires and get rid of these the plastic fenders and go with kind of a pinched body, almost like I was thinking like a Wraith Spawn body might look really good on here because the back end and front end are dovetailed a little bit. That's what I'm thinking. And then J Concepts does not make any taller tires other than ruptures, and you can't use ruptures. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. So Bob, you missed me being really moody at the start of this and then deciding that it wasn't worth it, or at least there's enough happy people out there that like coming into our store, and you know, I don't know. Yeah, so true story. I actually ordered the Spawn body for the Plex for me for the Enduro, and then I put it over it and decided that all the work I had done to that truck to get the bumpers where they're at, that it wasn't worth redoing that to make the Spawn body work on it. So I had originally intention to use that body on the Enduro. But now, since I have a fresh start, right, I think I'm going to put it on this truck. And yeah, I think that's going to be cool. And I think what I'm going to do, I'll show you guys something. I'm going to go back to, I think I'm going to go back to this on that Spawn Enduro body. So this is my original Losi comp crawler body. Back when we were doing the comp crawling stuff, not the scale crawling stuff. And I still have it because these stickers cost me a pretty penny to get made. So I think I'm going to do the Spawn body with this paint job on it. I think it's going to look pretty cool. And then I got to get an interior and some scale points and all that stuff. So I think I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to do. So I actually have somewhere, maybe in this stack. I know I brought these out before on here, but some of you guys weren't here, so I really, 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 really wish that I would have kept my Losi comp crawler, because that thing was badass. It had Vanquish bullet weight 2.2 wheels and hot body rovers for tires. Boss claws from Losi. I wish they wouldn't have stopped making those. Those are like awesome tires, even though they're probably illegal now. Well, anyways, I've got the, I still have my Losi comp crawler somewhere. Exterior tube frame. I know. I don't know how to do any of that stuff yet. I need to learn. I should learn and make some of my own. I've bent my own links before, but I've never actually like did any real tube bending or TIG welding or anything like that. So I should learn how to do that stuff. That way people can't come into the store and say that I don't know anything. Oh, they haven't responded back. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, Tony says that he still got his rovers and VP wheels and bullets. I think the last time, I think I ordered some a while back and bought them because I got a comp crawler again. And then I put some ridiculous number on eBay for it. And some guy bought it. It was like $750 for my complete comp crawler. And somebody bought it for that. Buy it now. Like I put it on there just to be like, I'll put it on there. Nobody will buy it. And then like within an hour, somebody bought it. So then I was thinking, well, maybe I put it on there for too little. I don't know. So anyways, to the I doubt he's going to watch this, but to the guy that was on 402 Club earlier and said that I treated you bad or something, I'm sorry. I did not realize that I came across that way. But I assure you that that was not my intention at all. So hopefully you'll see this or read what I posted on there and maybe think to yourself, maybe I overreacted or misunderstood, but yeah, I don't know. My go-to electronic setup for crawlers. So I'm still doing the brush stuff. So I have in all three of our cars now the Quick Run 1080. By far the best bang for your buck for a speed controller. It's $41 and it's waterproof, and they give you the little tuning box, so you can't beat it. And then in my Enduro, I'm running just a Holmes Hobby Sport Master, something like that. 13 turn. At our store, they're $13.99, and it's super quiet and it works really good. In this one, I took the 16 turn that came in the Enduro and I put it in this one, and it runs really well. So I have no reason to change that yet. I eventually want to go brushless. I was going to try an axe from Hobby Wing eventually, but I haven't gotten around to it, and I haven't found a reason to get around to it because both of these have been working fine. So for servo, I'm down with anything that has a lot of torque and a decent amount of speed for a fair amount of money, right? I think that if you go cheap on your servo and don't spend at least $80, and or if you got to look at the torque, right? So like the Savix 1210 SG is a really good servo. It's 444 ounces of torque. It's waterproof. It's fast. I had one of those for a year in the Enduro, and this last month, I kind of felt like at a couple points it was kind of giving out. So I put a Reefs 444 in that, all metal cased, waterproof, fast, and it's $109 at the Plex. And this thing, Cole on here was gracious enough to hook me up with the 555. I just had to replace the gears in it, so I did that. It's a little slow for my liking, but it's super strong. So I'm okay with using that servo for now. In my son's truck, the store truck, we've got another Savix 1210 SG. So, but there's a lot of good servos out there. There's some internet servos that are probably just fine. That go for way cheaper. I guess I'm kind of a brand snob. So, I kind of have certain brands that I trust in all my race cars. I only use ProTech servos. I pretty much stick with ProTech batteries. The ProTech 4500 3-cell is a nice shorty pack, so it doesn't take up a lot of space, and it's 100 and something C battery, so you know that it's going to be able to deliver the juice. And then as far as a radio goes, I personally am a Sanwa guy. Full disclosure, I was a TLR driver from 2006 till 2017, And because of that, I ran Spectrum for that whole time. And I know Spectrum radios well. But I do feel that your Sanwa stuff, I feel more connected than ever to all my cars using the Sanwa MT44. But you can get an MT4S fairly cheap now, and they use the same receivers, so that should be good. Or an M17 if you want to spend $600. You know, that's what I use, the MT44. I had to relearn the terminology. You know how when you get a new phone, like you flip from Android to Apple, and you got to like relearn everything? It was kind of that way with this. So setting up the winch on my Enduro the first time, I had to kind of learn the terminology again on the radio. So that was kind of fun. But yeah. So Expert servos, Bob was on here. He said Expert servos make really good servos too. We carried this really good waterproof one. I can't remember the number. It's 7 something, but it was brushless and waterproof and super strong. So it was like uber fast. That was good stuff. We kind of got away from having the Expert stuff in the store, mainly because just the distributorship for them was so difficult. I don't think A-Main carries them anymore. And I think Macklin was the only place we could get them from. And since they're not one of our main distributor channels, it was just one of those things that kind of fell away, especially when we started able to get ProTech servos in, kind of took over that slot. So anywho, I was kind of joking with a friend earlier that these Thursdays are so weird because, like, last week I got all flustered at the end of the night, and that was kind of dumb. It's kind of my fault, but it wasn't directed at a customer. It was actually directed at one of our guys, which, you know, can happen when you're the boss or one of the bosses, right? But I don't know. I don't know sometimes. So there you go. I got overdrive in this thing now, and you know what? I'm gonna turn it on because I can. Hopefully it works. Looks like it works. I should put like a white line on it, and I don't think I have a white Sharpie or anything like that. All my Sharpies are black. Yeah, this is my STX 10-3, dude. So, you know, the other thing too, I was thinking about the overdrive is putting the overdrive in this too means that when I do lock the dig, that thing's really gonna turn and burn to get going. So nothing sounds crazy, so that's good. Use a piece of tape. I don't know if I have any tape. I need to oil my chair is what I need to do. This thing's getting loud. Do I have any tape? I have servo tape, I think. Hang on. Now I don't know if I have a. I don't know if I have a X-Acto knife. Oh, there we go. Ow. Bob said he has painter tape. Yeah, I bet you do. Will that work? It's on the tire. Maybe it'll work. So if I put that straight up like that, and then put this straight up like this. All right, let's plug her back in. Let's do this together. Okay, can you guys see that? Yeah, you guys see that. Let's see. Oh, I'm not on. Hang on. Durr. Oh, look at that. Nice. All right. A visual representation. I'm so giddy right now. I'm so happy. So there you go. So the axial SCX-102, SCX-103 use the same ring and pinion gear, so you can overdrive your truck with that same gear, and it'll work just fine. So there you go. We learned something tonight. Pretty happy. I'm gonna take this home or to the work tomorrow. Before work, I'm gonna go out there, give it a go, see if I could crawl up a couple things I couldn't crawl up last week. And then I'll start looking at stuff to do. There really isn't that much stuff, I don't think, other than the body. Have to start getting really creative with the body. The tooth count is 8. It says on the thing. Hang on. It's 8. 8 teeth on the pinion and 27 tooth on the ring gear. And I think it's 12%. I think is what it is. I think that's what I was told without looking at my phone. So 12% overdrive. So there you go. I need more shelves, man. I'm running out of shelf space for all my stuff. So the next thing I'm going to do is get, I'm going to put these super awesome wheels that I won at the On the Rocks 3 event on Emerson's truck here. I keep saying Emerson's truck. Technically, it's a store's truck, but Emerson's using it. So the guys at 402 had their awesome event last Sunday, and we won some new beadlocks. So pretty exciting. So what time is it? It's 1:15. So I usually sign off at not 1:15. It's an hour and 15 minutes. So I usually sign off at like an hour and a half. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. Get a Mountain Dew sponsor. Yes, I know. I need to like, I gotta like write something out and come up with something and try to make it cool. But I don't know. We'll figure this out. In other news, Team Associated sent the Summer Series prizes already. They're on their way. So they'll probably show up next week sometime. That is a load off my mind when that happens because, you know, we somehow are able to make the Summer Series stuff happen every single year and make it work. Paint a truck like Kickstart can. I know, right? I've been thinking about that. I'm sure Bob could do it. The thing is, though, is like orange is like not my color. Like red is red, white, and black. So you know how OCRC had a Monster Energy sponsor for a while. They might even still have it, but I thought it'd be cool to have ours sponsored by Mountain Dew or something. I don't like the Kickstart Fruit Punch, man. It tastes like cough syrup to me. It took me a while. I remember the first time I drank one of these, I was kind of like, ugh, this is terrible. But then it grew on me. And then I think what happened is there's something in here that hooks people, and I got hooked. So, but this is my go-to drink. But oh, I see what Cole's saying. Do the Kickstart Punch for the body. Yeah, I could do that. That would be kind of funny. Oh, crawler body would actually look really cool with that. Ooh, dang it, dude. A Wraith Spawn body, but with Kickstart Fruit Punch colors. That would be kind of cool. Damn it, that would be really neat. Shoot. I just got a great thanks, man. I'm starting to visualize it now. That's gonna be awesome. That would be really cool. Joel asked up here earlier about the shock oil. So I think most guys that run two-wheel drive slashes run heavier shock oil in the back than in the front. And if I remember right, it's like 55 in the back and 45 in the front, and it makes that truck not roll as much. So it makes it, at least on the track, it makes it drive a little bit better. Yeah, that's right. That's how you do it. You take a nice picture of that truck. You tell them how many of these you drink in a day. Like basically, I've been on a 2-a-day habit since like 2014, I think. So there's a picture of me holding one of these at the Reedy race in 2014. So that's going on 6 years now. So I used to drink Mountain Dew like religiously. Like I worked at a video game store from 97 to 2001. And no, 2000, sorry, 97, 2000. And my like routine in the morning would be to stop by the gas station at 72nd and Dodge, which is no longer there, by the way. It hasn't been there for a really long time, actually, but would be stop by the gas station. I think it was like an Amoco. Buy 2 1-liters of Mountain Dew, and then by the end of the night, they were gone. So I used to drink a whole like 2-liter Mountain Dew every day. That's not good for you. But if you're a gamer, like I used to be, that was probably par for the course, you know. And that was way back before we had energy drinks. So that was kind of all it was just pop. You guys remember Surge? So I went to there's this game called San Francisco Rush that used to be at Family Fun Center that I was really good at. And they had a tournament there. And I almost won a year's supply of Surge. I finished second. only because this guy ran into me and in a video game too, but he hacked me in a video game and he won. And second place was movie tickets to the movie Volcano with God, what's that guy? Tommy Lee Jones and Ellen DeGeneres' old girlfriend. What's her name? Anyways, so I went from 365 cans of Surge to 2 movie tickets to the movie Volcano. And what was horrible about that was Ann Hesh, there you go. Yeah, thank you. What was horrible about that was I had called in sick to work and they wanted to interview me on the radio. And I was like, can't do it, can't do it, can't do it. So, yeah, good times. Good times. Oh, I just got a text. There we go. That's loud. Josta Cola? No, I don't. Sounds familiar, but not really. What's the other one? Jolt? You ever find a gas station that has Jolt? That's a good one to try. It's not very good. It's pretty bad. Doesn't even taste good. So, yeah. What's another one I used to drink? Oh, dude, they don't make this anymore. Dr. Slice was a great pop. It was like it was Dr. Pepper, but it wasn't like all that. It wasn't as peppery as Dr. Pepper, and had like a little bit of citrus in it. And they sold it in high school in the pop machines. I used to drink that all the time. It would turn your tongue like purple. That was really good. I miss that. That's a good drink. I miss that drink. They stopped making that one too. Can I get red Monster Energy at the store? I will ask. I think it all depends on what we can get at Sam's Club, I think is what the deal is. So, yeah, Mr. Pibb, but Mr. Pibb's still around. Like, you can get a Mr. Pibb anywhere. Anywhere that doesn't sell Dr. Pepper is always Mr. Pibb. It's like when you go somewhere and you're like, yeah, I'd like a Pepsi. And they're like, oh, we sell Coke. And you're like, whoa, it's not the same, but whatever, I'll drink that anyways. Still, yeah. Anyways, so I'm running on this truck. These are plastic wheels. And the one bummer about the plastic wheels is that, not bummer, but they've got these covers which make it look more realistic, and I think would also get you points if I'm not mistaken. But you got to take them off every time. So we're going to take these tires and wheels off and go from there. One thing I'd like to get for this truck is bent links. Although Emerson, this truck, it's got a Vader skid on it. And what am I doing? Emerson was able to get right over a couple things that even I had trouble with on Sunday. So maybe it doesn't need it. It's just the links look like small, right? And not beefy, but we've never actually broken an end off or anything like that. So I don't know. Maybe that's a money saving option. I'm a big fan of these SSD Brass knuckles, though, I've got them on all three of our trucks now. So I've got them on the Axial, got them on the Enduro, and I have the portal covers, the brass portal covers on the Axial 3. So it's pretty good stuff. So far, everything's fit really nice. Never had any problems mounting anything up. I mean, it was really good. So, yeah. We got in what did we get in today? Class 1 landmines. And they sold within about 10 minutes. So I was gonna do a What's New Wednesday today on Thursday. But a bunch of the stuff that we got in, besides the 2 cars, like sold before I could even really do anything with them. So I don't know. Have to wait till next week, I guess. So I am missing my my drill tonight. I left it at work because I'm stupid, and I knew I was gonna be doing this, but I left it in my pit. So so Joel just asked the age-old question: how do you get sponsored? And there's 2 answers to that. You got to know the right people, and you also have to be nice and do well at races and stuff. So I guess there's 3 things. We talked about this on the podcast, which I have to listen to when this is over with to make sure that I clear it for publication, I think tomorrow. And I think Will and I talked about that at the end of the show when we were taking questions and stuff. So okay, let's see if we can get this apart. There's that. These are those J Concepts Colt wheels. If you're looking for a nice cheap alternative to expensive aluminum wheels, so far so good with these guys. I haven't seen any stress on the beadlock rings for them to break or anything, and the hexes seem to be holding up. You know, a lot of times plastic, you can sometimes strip these hexes, but so far so good. We've been through 1 comp and a whole bunch of Tuesday nights on the same wheels. So I'm going to set these off to the side and maybe use them. I got another set of wheels. Got the axial SCX-10-3 Jeep wheels. I'll probably put on these Colt wheels, tires, the J Concepts, or geez, the original SCX-10-3 tires. I'll probably put on these just so I have another set of tires to bolt onto something. But these landmines are going on these super awesome free wheels. Can't beat free. So thank you. If I didn't say that enough, thank you. I don't know what it is about the screw section. So before we go, I told this story on our podcast, but I'm gonna tell it again. So a long time ago, like 4 years ago, this guy comes in with his family, and he wants screws for his Nitro Hawk or something. No, it was a Hawk. It was a Nitro, like a Nitro Sport, like a Nitro Rustler. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's right over here. So I take him over to the screw section, and I show him, and showed him all the metric screws, and then he reaches for a 540 screw from the low C section, right? And I'm like, oh man, you don't want to use those. Those are standard size screws. I'm like, you have a metric car, you know, you should probably use metric screws. And the guy said, okay, thanks. And I walked away thinking everything was fine. And then I came back. They were sitting there at the counter, and I came back, and I'm like, anything else I can do for you? And the guy's like, not from you. You're nothing but rude and condescending. And I'm like, what? Like, I couldn't believe that guy actually thought that. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I'll use any screws I want to. And I was like, oh, okay. So that's one interaction from the screw aisle. And and now we've got this last one. So I don't know. Maybe what I should do is if somebody walks in and they need help in the screw aisle, I should just let Aiden or Clayton or somebody else take care of it. I don't know. Anywho, sorry to keep dwelling on that, you guys. I am just, I don't know. Part of me thinks, I don't know. Part of me wants to just forget about it. The other part of me wants to figure out how I can make it better. So. I don't know why I took out the center hub, other than I think I have the weight patties. So. Cole, I can't post that, but yeah, you know what I'm saying, right? So a lot of times I will weight the ring. See that right there? But because these are metal and they're not crazy, but I have these SSD wheel hubs. And these are brass, and I'm pretty sure that the holes match. Yep, they do. So that is great. So, okay, so because on these, I've got these nice weighted hubs, I'm not gonna weight the ring. I'm just gonna put them together. So yeah, if they fit, let me know what brand they are. So here's the deal. I don't know what brand they are either, because this is how they came on a blank sheet. So we won them in the raffle from the event on Sunday. So I don't know what brand they are. Maybe one of these guys on here do, if Bob's still on here or somebody. But yeah. So yeah, I'm sorry. They look like I mean, they look like any like SSD or maybe yeah, racing maybe even type wheels. Yeah, kind of like knockoff VPs, exactly. The cool thing is though, is they use the standard I can't remember the name of the hub, but SSD, Vanquish, Axial, Enduro, they all use the same hole pattern. So I'm really happy, because if you buy Incision wheels, you can't use this stuff because the hole pattern is different. But Vanquish, Axial, Enduro, Element, we've got some APS wheels. They use the same inner hub. They all use the same hub. I can't remember what the name of it though. SLW hubs. There you go. Thanks, Bob. Bob to the rescue. That's one of those situations again where I ramble and I don't know what I'm talking about, according to YouTube. According to YouTube keyboard warriors. So the brass center hubs were just meant for the element wheels. No, you should be able to use them on everything. I bolted these up to the plastic element wheels at first. I've had these for almost no, not almost. I've had these for over a year. So these were the first thing that I ever bought for the element, were these. And I had them on those plastic wheels at first. I mean, one of the reasons why I took them off though was to not put weight, try to get as much weight off the actual wheel itself, so that the wheel speed wouldn't be hindered. But I mean, should be fine. Shouldn't be a big deal. Okay, so now we're gonna do that. Oh, that looks pretty good. I think it's kind of an ordinary color, I guess, but still, it's pretty cool looking. And take this guy. I really, really wish that I had my drill. Should have remembered to bring my to have my drill today. For a two-wheel drive / truck stock motor, how can you make it go faster? You don't, because if you make it go faster, you'll burn the motor up within minutes. They pretty much have that thing geared where it has to be. If you want to make it go faster, you're probably going to have to go brushless, basically. If you put any larger gear on that Titan 12-turn motor, whether you go to a lower spur gear or you go to a higher pinion gear, you'll pretty much just get it way too hot and will ruin the motor. So they pretty much tried to make it go as fast as they could from the factory without, without sacrificing the longevity of the motor. So, okay. Looks like they're going in pretty good. Now we're just going to go in that kind of star pattern. So it's like there to there to there to there. No, wait, there, as we tighten it down. And I do a little bit at a time so that we don't strip anything. And I probably should have used thread lock, but we'll give it a go. I really miss my drill. Did I say that already? Can't forget my drill at home or at work. Might as well be home, but whatever. Huh. It's not too bad. Emerson will be happy. It's got some aluminum wheels. Okay, so there's number one. You guys can see that. Put this hub in, but I do have to find, oh, you know what? I probably have some right here. Hang on. Because I'm pretty sure these are no, they're 2.5. I'm going to have to find some 2.5 millimeter screws. So once I do that, I should be good to go, and I'll have those on there. So, yeah, Joel Florkey. Is that right? Hope so. I'm terrible at names, so that's my downfall. Okay. I think that's it for tonight. It's been an hour and 40 minutes. So the first 10 minutes of the show are me going on a rant about, I don't know, who cares at this point, right? So I'll decide whether or not I'm going to leave this one up or not. Because it's just a bad look. It's just a terrible look. So anywho, that's all for tonight. What we got going on this weekend? Racing tomorrow, racing Saturday. Probably do some main event videos from Saturday. We'll see if I can get in a video or not on tomorrow. Depends on how busy we are in the store. A lot of times we're pretty busy on Fridays. And then, of course, our HobbyPlex Show podcast to be Saturday. Or not Saturday. Mondays at 6:30. We usually try to go live while we're doing the show right around that time. So if you want to get in on the raw version of the podcast, that's Mondays at 6:30. If you want to listen to the podcast in its cool edited form, they usually go live every Friday. So keep an eye out for that. So that's it. Okay, I'm going to go. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. I think we had up to like 20 viewers today, so that's pretty awesome. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.